Swahili Channel 4. Swahili. Ladies and gentlemen, may we all stand for the arrival of His Excellencies, heads of state and government into the hall. Please, let's put our hands together as they walk in. If we can play anthems as VVIPs all walk into the room. Thank you. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's remain standing, and I now invite the choir to give us first the Zimbabwe national anthem, the SADC anthem, and finally the AU anthem. Thank you. Thank you very much. We put our hands together as we take our seats. Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, our First Ladies, Honorable President of the Pan-African Parliament, Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, the host president, who's my president, affectionately referred by everybody as ED. So the video that was playing much earlier is commonly and lovingly referred to as ED. This Vice President, Honorable Minister, we are here for the official opening session of the 44th coming to you building in Zimbabwe's capital city, Harare. This area is called the SADC Summit. Distinguished delegates, is responsible for the overall policy direction and control of the community, ultimately making it the policy-making institution of SADC. So that is why we are here. Let me just tell you, a small miracle that I'm here standing before you this morning, because last night I got a call from Foreign Affairs Ministry, and the gentleman at the end of the line said to me, is that Super? I said, yeah, Ndini, which means it's me. I just told you our president is affectionately referred to as ED. So obviously after realizing that there's a bit of a shock on the other side of the line, he says, no, you are ED, Events Director. So I am here as the Events Director. It's such an honor, Your Majesty, distinguished excellencies, honorable vice presidents, ministers, first ladies, ambassadors, and all esteemed delegates here, to have this honor and remarkable opportunity to be directing the King, the presidents this morning. I have this honor not just to myself. I would like at this stage to introduce my co-ED. She hails from the beautiful country of Zambia, as well as
in Windhoek, Republic of Namibia. And this is why we commemorate 17th August as SADC Day. So happy SADC Day to you all. Allow me to introduce their excellencies and heads of states who are up here. King Mswati III from the Kingdom of Eswatini. His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves, the Republic of Angola, and Chairperson of SADC. His Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of SADC. Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, Quality and Security Cooperation. She's female, we need another applause. Thank you. We have from the Democratic Republic of Congo, His Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, the President and outgoing Chairperson of SADC. Lumbumba, and outgoing chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security. Of Malawi, the Home Excellent Jacinth News. My apologies, he's not here yet, but Republic of Botswana, we have His Excellency Dr. Republic of Madagascar, His Excellency the Kingdom of Lesotho, the Kingdom in the Sky, the Right Honorable the Prime Minister, Mr. Samuel Mshokwani Matekan. Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Louis Stephen, presented by Honorable Mulambo Haimbe, State Council MP, Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Republic of Zambia. Union of Comoros, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Mohamed Mbaye. Last but not the least, from the head of states and government representatives, we have His Excellency Ambassador Claude Morel, Special Envoy of the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, but also the chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers. Last but not the least, up there, we have His Excellency Mr. Elias Mpedi Mahosi, the Executive Secretary of SADC. In our midst, we also have Economic Commission for Africa, who is the Undersecretary General and Executive Secretary of UNECA. Retired Colonel Kembe Mohadi, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. I won't mention them by name, but we have the President of the Arab Bank of Economic Development for Africa. From the African Development Bank, we have the representative from Africa CDC, SADC Parliamentary Forum. The First Ladies were also recognized, including Amai Mnangagwa. And all SADC citizens who are represented here, you are all welcome to the program. We are running short is as follows. We will start with introductory remarks from the Executive Secretary of SADC. Thereafter, we will have here, and we will tell you about the rest of the program.
And Deputy ED, I hope we don't have ED, but it's good to dream. Your Majesty, the third of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, of Angola, and the Chairperson of SADC, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and incoming Chairperson of SADC, and our host of the 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. Your Excellency Felix Anton Tshisekedi Chilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the outgoing Chairperson of SADC. Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, and the Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and the incoming chairperson, Your Excellency the President of the Republic of Namibia, and the outgoing chairperson of the organ. Your Excellencies and government, or your representatives or their representatives, Your Excellency General Retired Dr. Chiwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency Colonel Retired Kembo Mohadi, the Vice President of this great republic, Your Excellency Ambassador Dr. Frederick Shava, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and our chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers. Your Excellency Mr. Clava Katete, Under Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, honorable ministers and deputy ministers here present, ambassadors, high commissioners, and members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of our partner institutions, regional, continental, and Your Excellencies, to stand before you today to deliver SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. Let me also extend my profound gratitude to the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe for gracious and all preceding meetings is testament to the commitment of the government of Zimbabwe to the ideals and aspirations of SADC. Your Excellencies, the 44th SADC Summit is held under the theme Promoting Innovation to Unlock Opportunities for Sustained Economic Growth and Development towards an Industrialized SADC. This theme takes us further on a transformative journey towards industrialization, which started right here in Zimbabwe through the directive of the 34th SADC Summit to place industrialization at the core of the SADC regional agenda. The theme provides a unique opportunity to shape the future of our region and the steps we must take, the power of innovation, to accelerate implementation of key regional value chains and promote technological transfer to increase manufacturing of value-added products and ultimately realize intra-regional trade stands at a very low level of about 23%, signifying that as SADC member states, we are trading more with the rest of the world than we do amongst ourselves. One of the culprits, if I can call it, driving these low levels of intra-regional trade, tariff barriers. I think the ministers of trade would relate with this one. Zero import duty of 85% of products traded among the SADC member states, intra-SADC importers and exporters continue to encounter new and long-standing unresolved non-tariff barriers. It is therefore imperative to rededicate our collective measures to reduce these barriers and intra-regional cooperation and integration. The benefits of an enlarged regional market to the SADC economy and citizens cannot be overemphasized. Our collective market of approximately 389 million people and a combined gross domestic product of about US $841 billion provides an enormous potential for trade and investment opportunities as well as economic growth. In our quest to facilitate enhanced inter-regional trade within the area is compiling as we speak information to produce a list of what we call SADC member states and on what the region trades with the rest of the world. This will be used to develop strategic interventions and actions to improve access to markets within our community and to facilitate improved intra-regional trade within the region. I am hopeful, Your Excellencies, that the completion of this exercise will produce declarations on how we will trade going forward and reverse the 23. The status quo is not ideal in my view. Excellencies, I'm pleased to report that as part of the ongoing efforts to expand our markets beyond the SADC region, the agreement establishing the tripartite free trade area among the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, the East African Community, EAC, and SADC entered into force on the 25th of July this year, paving the way for member and partner states of the tripartite to access a larger market of now 26 countries, with a population of about 700 million and a GDP of 1 trillion United. As the chairperson of the tripartite task force, I have already notified all the tripartite member and partner states about this positive development, which is a key milestone in the promotion of intra-Africa trade and enhancement of economic integration in that area. On peace and security, Your Excellencies, the SADC region continues to stand out as a beacon of hope for peace, security, and stability in the continent of Africa, notwithstanding the security challenges in the eastern part of the DRC. Our region remains resolute towards finding lasting peace and security in the DRC. Last year, we deployed the SADC mission in the DRC to support the government to restore peace and security following conflicts and instability caused by the resurgence of armed groups. This mission should complement ongoing diplomatic processes, namely the Luanda and Nairobi processes, which aim to bring all concerned parties to the negotiating table to find a lasting solution to the conflict. The security situation in Mozambique and following the deployment of the SADC mission in the country since July 2021, I wish to report, Your Excellencies, that the mission was successfully concluded on the 4th of July this year, and that the security situation in Cabo Delgado is better off than it was prior to the mission's deployment. Through SAMIM, we succeeded in facilitating humanitarian assistance, controlling radicalization and indoctrination, and in protecting public infrastructure, thus restoring services. In collaboration with the government of Mozambique, has created a secure environment, allowing the return of over 600,000 of the 1.2 million internally displaced persons to their places of origin. Allow me to express our sincere gratitude to His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, the chairperson of the SADC organ, for his unwavering commitment for sustained peace and security in the region. Under his leadership, our region has taken concrete steps to foster cooperation, to consolidate peace, security, and stability, and in particular to highlight one, unlocking the levers to drive the reform process in the Kingdom of Lesotho. Similarly, I wish to thank the SADC chairperson, His Excellency President João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, for leading the Luanda process in his capacity as the African Union champion on peace and reconciliation, that your diplomatic find peaceful and amicable solutions to the conflict in the eastern part of the DRC and bear fruit. Your Excellencies, the 2023-24 rainfall season has been a challenging one, with most parts of the region experiencing the negative effects of the El Nino phenomenon, characterized by a late onset of rains, extended mid-season dry spells, and extreme high temperatures. As a result, an estimated 67.7 million people in the region, representing more than 17% of the region's population, have been negatively affected. I wish to take this opportunity once more to express our sincere gratitude to the SADC chairperson, His Excellency President Lorenzo, for of this year to address the humanitarian situation emanating from the drought and floods. He accordingly launched the SADC Regional Humanitarian Appeal worth approximately $5.5 billion to support the humanitarian needs and disaster response recovery of the affected populations. Your Excellencies, with the increased scope of the SADC agenda, our region requires adequate financial resources to implement interventions and programs outlined in the RSDP 2020-2030 to enable us to achieve our collective aspirations of a peaceful, inclusive, competitive, middle to high-income industrialized region, as envisioned in our 2050 vision. It is evidently clear that without adequate resources for interconnected, quality, and seamless infrastructure, it will be in the form of roads, railways, ports, energy, or ICT. Our efforts to industrialize and integrate our economies and unlock the region's full potential will stall. It is therefore imperative, as we intensify our efforts to mobilize resources, we should deliberate and expedite. We should be deliberate and expedite the operationalization of Development Fund. The SADC founders, in their wisdom, envisioned that the SADC Treaty, the RDF as a mechanism for financing programs to accelerate economic development and growth of our region. However, the agreement on the operationalization of this fund is yet to enter into force. As of today, only 8 member states have signed the agreement, with only 1 ratification by the Republic of Angola. May I call upon member states and follow the lead of our chairperson, President Lorenzo. We also recognize commitments made by the DRC and the republics of Zambia and Zimbabwe to ratify very soon. Your Excellencies, as I conclude, let me highlight the critical importance of paying particular attention to the needs of the youth in promoting innovation, industrialization, peace and security. As Your Excellencies may be aware, the SADC region, just like the rest of Africa, has the youngest and fastest growing population in the world. This provides a democratic dividend capable of embracing new technologies and innovation and sustaining supply of labor to drive the industrialization agenda and spur economic growth and development. We just witnessed this potential coming to life a couple of days ago at the SADC public lecture, ably by our host, His Excellency President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa at the University of Zimbabwe. The youth were taking the lead to innovate, to create new advancements, and simply the President has put funding aside dedicated to these young men and women to shape the industrial revolution of the country, for which we commend him most sincerely. We can all learn from this initiative and possibly ignite the bigger revolution in our region. As part of the implementation of the 41st Summit theme titled Human and Financial Capital, the key drivers for sustainable industrialization in the SADC region, which was adopted last year in Luanda, the region convenes the SADC Youth Forum this year with calls for the region to develop public policy participation in mainstream economy as well as the representation of young women in the development processes. I would like to reiterate the need to invest in the youth by providing them with the necessary skills, resources, entrepreneurial and job opportunities with a view to unlock their potential, thereby creating pathways for them to become agents of change and contributors of regional integration, sustainable peace and security. And I wish to take this opportunity to thank the chairperson of SADC, His Excellency João Manhã, the President of the Republic of Angola, for his exemplary leadership, guidance, and insights during his tenure. In the past year, the chairperson has demonstrated exceptional leadership, vision, and dedication in steering achieving its mandate. He has provided guidance, wisdom, and deep insights to the Secretariat during his visit to the Secretariat in Gaborone on the 14th of July this year. As we look ahead to the coming year, the Secretariat reaffirms its unwavering commitment to work collaboratively with the incoming chairperson of SADC, His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, the President of this Republic, to move the SADC agenda forward and mainly focusing on industrializing our region. With these remarks, I wish Your Excellencies fruitful deliberations as we collectively endeavor to shape the future of our region. I am confident that the outcomes of your deliberations today will positively impact the lives of our citizens. I thank you for your attention. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Tatenda.
Executive Secretary, His Excellency Mr. Elias Magosi. At any point of SADC life, the Executive Secretary comes from any of the member countries. For those who don't know, our Executive Secretary is from the beautiful country of SADC called Botswana. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to bridge the flow of the program to introduce a proud citizen of SADC, one that we are also very proud of in the region. He is the President of the Pan-African Parliament, and he's none other than Chief Fortune Charumbira. Thank you. Just to advise again those that are using language translation gadgets, our channels are as follows. English is on channel 1, French is on channel 2, Portuguese is on channel 3, and Swahili is on channel 4. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we are live on national television as well as international television, courtesy of the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. We are also coming to you live from the new Parliament building in Mount Hampden, in Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe, the host of the 44th Ordinary Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government Summit, Ordinary Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government. And those who are on or would like to catch us on social media, we are on ZBC News Online, the Facebook page. I'd now like to call upon to the podium our next speaker. The man I'm just about to call is an icon of the independence struggle of the Republic of Zimbabwe. He's a man who's walked the ropes of leadership from being a member of parliament and cabinet minister in 1980 at independence, to being the Speaker of Parliament, to being the Vice President, to what he is today. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite to the podium the incoming chairperson of SADC and the host of the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit of Heads of States and Government, to deliver his welcome remarks. Please put your hands.
The First Lady, my Dr. Mnangagwa, Your Majesty King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency, Brother Felix Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo and outgoing Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Samir Hassan, President of the Republic of Tanzania and the Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Cooperation, Your Excellency Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and outgoing Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Cooperation, Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, and heads of delegations, Your Excellency, Chairperson of the SADC panel, former President Jakaya Kikwete, Your Excellencies, First Ladies who are here with us, C.G.D.N. Chiwenga, the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired K.C.D. Mohadi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Ambassador Frederick Shawa, Honorable Ministers and various Republic of Zimbabwe who are here with us, Your Excellency Elias Magosi, SADC Executive, Your Excellency Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Ambassador Clever Gateke, Your Excellencies, heads of regional economic communities and SADC member states, members of the media, my fellow SADC citizens, privileged to be addressing you all when I have been accorded the rare and huge responsibility to take hold of the revolutionary and transformative regional board, SADC. On behalf of the government, to officially welcome you, Your Majesty, and my dear colleagues, Excellencies, heads of state and government, as well as I trust that you have found the available facilities perhaps comfortable. The people of Zimbabwe count it an honor to be hosting SADC Summit. And we treasure your gathering here in the land of the great emperor. On their behalf, I'm grateful for personally thank you all for the many years of your unwavering solidarity and unbreakable relations with the Republic and people of Zimbabwe. This has been against the continuing heinous sanctions imposed on our motherland, Zimbabwe, by some Western countries. We are aware that various forms of undue pressure exist to abandon us. Yet you have remained resolute in the true spirit of our liberation wartime mantra that an injury to one is an injury to all. The clarity and unity which the SADC region has always demonstrated on Zimbabwe, as with other critical peace, security, and climate change disasters, African spirit envisaged by our founders. As the people of Zimbabwe say, thank you, thank you, thank you for bearing with us the burdens imposed by the last 24 years of illegal sanctions imposed claimed our land. Today also marks the SADC Day anniversary. We commemorate the signing of the SADC Declaration and the Treaty in 1992 at the Summit of Heads of State and Government that was held in the Republic of Namibia. The historic birth of SADC ushered an era of marked transformation in the region, from a past characterized by segregation and the brutal racial oppression to the present, where we enjoy peace, security, and prosperity in our respective countries. It has enabled the integration and has improved the quality of life of our peoples. The people of Zimbabwe are humbled. You, Your Excellencies, and your esteemed delegations in celebrating these milestones we have achieved. United we stand, and united we continue to march forward towards a more prosperous future for our great region, SADC. I find time to sample Zimbabwe's tourist attractions, traditional cuisines, and of the great people of Monomtapa, our great country. With these remarks, I welcome you all to Zimbabwe, the world of wonders and opportunities. I don't know whether that's true. Feel at home away from home. God bless you all.
Once more, another round of applause for the incoming SADC Chairman, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, ED. Thank you. Before we move on to the next speaker, you introduce the President of Mozambique, Mr. Felipe Jacinto Nyusi. Juncture, I'd like to invite to the podium the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa to make a statement. Please welcome His Excellency Clever Gatete.
Yeah. Your Excellency, Your Majesty King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency Mr. Joao Lorenzo, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of Southern African Development Community, Your Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming Chair of SADC, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government present here, all protocols observed, Mr. Elias Magosi, Executive Secretary of the Southern African Development Community, Honorable Ministers here present, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to address the 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government on the theme of promoting an industrialized SADC. I want to start by conveying my gratitude to the government of Zimbabwe for the generous hospitality as the host of this August event here in Harare. I also wish to thank the heads of state and SADC for this opportunity to deliver my inaugural address in my capacity as the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we are meeting at a time when our continent is facing major challenges, especially financing, security, soaring debt crisis, climate change. Sovereign debt in Africa currently stands at over $1 trillion US, causing severe fiscal stress with more than 1 in 3 countries in or at high risk of debt. This is also happening when long-term concession of finance, official development assistance, and foreign direct investments are declining. In addition, climate change 5% of GDP on average on an annual basis. Actually, last year for Mozambique, it cost them 15% of their GDP. These impacts are quite evident in the SADC region. That's why we're working on an African position on the reform of the global financial architecture so that Africa's needs are taken into account at the next month's Summit of the Future and the 4th Financing for Development Conference that will take place next year in Spain. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, there are no clear solutions. We have no choice but to look inward for homegrown solutions, including domestic resource mobilization and innovative financing for climate to sustain our development. And SADC on this imperative. The region is home to most of the world's gold, copper, cobalt, lithium, chromium, graphite, platinum, and possesses significant livestock and agriculture endowments. 4 key areas offer SADC innovative and scalable solutions. One of them is the development of the regional value chains, and this is possible in the whole of SADC region. Regional agglomeration remains a ticket to sustainable industrialization because fragmented approaches will not generate the jobs we need, nor will it reduce poverty and inequality. Indeed, following our recent visits to Botswana, Namibia, and Ethiopia to study the beef and leather value chains, concluded that all of the SADC offers enormous potential to increase export markets within these sectors. That's why we partnered with the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADEA, who have now approved grant financing for a feasibility study in the beef sector for Botswana that will be conducted by ECA, working closely with SADC Secretariat and partners. This will be replicated to other SADC member countries. We also plan to do similar work for the leather sector. In tandem is the energy from a regional perspective to have significant impact. For example, SADC is using only 1% of the solar and wind energy potential. This means that SADC can be a continental energy provider with the development of this value chain alone. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the second area of opportunity is food security. There is no reason why Africa should import food to the tune of over $120 billion US per year when SADC can be Africa's breadbasket. This is also why we are embarking on the establishment of the Zambia-Zimbabwe Common Agro, working with BADEA, who have also approved grant financing for a study to move forward with this initiative. I'm glad that the president of BADEA himself is here in the African continent. Thirdly is the minerals development. Our critical minerals can deliver fair and inclusive prosperity. Our fundamentals for the agenda are stronger than anywhere else in the world. but our window of opportunity is closing. We are using our study on the DRC Zambia Electric Battery Initiative as a proof of concept that we can and should drive mineral beneficiation, and we are working on a roadmap to translate this into a reality that will allow expansion to other minerals such as diamond. Finally, we must leverage technology. Our work with Botswana on the Lobu small stock farm shows the benefits of using smart agriculture technologies for climate change adaptation. With the right investments, we can scale up innovations like this, and not just in the agriculture sector, but in health, education, finance, transport, and many more others. ECA is now developing a platform that showcases innovations across the continent, which can be accessed by all countries. This was one of the requests by member states at our last conference of finance ministers in March this year in the beautiful Victoria Falls. And governor of the central bank is chaired by the finance minister of Zimbabwe. These, notwithstanding significant investments and critical infrastructure development, governments alone cannot do this. The private sector can play its part with the right incentives and de-risking mechanisms. For us at ECA, we are working closely with the African Development Bank and regional partners to enhance de-risking mechanisms that promote successful public-private sector partnerships. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me emphasize that the impetus for rapid industrialization is not simply a question of convenience. It's a matter of absolute necessity. Homegrown solutions can help us address today's complex challenges. We are here because we believe we can do it. I'm convinced that each of the SADC member countries can be a cluster leader of innovation and breakthroughs, and ECA stands ready to partner with you on this journey. I thank you very much.
The Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, His Excellency Clever Gatete. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished heads of state and government, honorable vice presidents, first ladies, honorable ministers, ambassadors, distinguished delegates to this opening session, His Excellency clear opportunities that are available for SADC to catapult itself to a global economic bloc. I was just reminded of some kind of competition that took place last year. Some British scientists had just dug about 10 meters. They discovered traces of copper, and they made a conclusion that some 200 years ago, their ancestors were doing their own digging. They dug about 20 meters into the ground. They also discovered the traces of copper. So they then published in one of their journals that, in fact, the American ancestors had telephone network more than 250 years, 50 years earlier than the British. So there was a group of SADC citizens who all the Americans. So they put themselves together, went around the SADC, and they were digging, and they were digging, and they were digging. They dug up to 100 meters. They didn't find any traces of copper, and they made a remarkable conclusion. And it was published in one of the Cape Town journals, that in fact, more than 300 years ago, our ancestors already had a wireless network. So we do. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, would like to move on with the program. And just to remind those that are watching, we are live from the new Parliament building, Mount Abden, the capital of this year's SADC Summit. It is tradition within SADC that a new president within the family must come forward and address the summit. So we do have to take to the podium and address the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit. It's doing this for the first time. Distinguished delegates, allow me to invite the President of the Republic of Namibia to the podium and deliver his maiden statement to the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit. His Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, please proceed to that one that is reserved for distinguished delegates like yourself. The President. Thank you.
Your Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Dr. Dabuzo Mnangagwa, President, incoming Chairperson of SADC, and the host of the 44th SADC Summit of Head of State and Government. Your Excellency, Federation, Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and incoming Chairperson of the SADC organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation. Your Excellency, State and Government, Your Excellency General Tas, Your Excellency Mr. It is a great honor and opportunities for sustainable economic growth and development towards and industrial. Allow me to express my deepest gratitude to Your Excellency Dr. Emerson Dabuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, on your assumption of the chairmanship of SADC. Thank you. Your Excellencies, I assume their commitment to regional integration, peace, and economic development.